Tuesday, 9th July 2013. Morning. The pile of clothes from last week is still there, and it looks dustier and more forlorn than it did a few days ago. I read somewhere that a train can rip the clothes right off when it hits. It's not an unusual death by train. 200 to 300 a year, they say, so at least one every couple of days. I'm not sure how many of those are accidental. I look carefully as the train rolls slowly past for blood on the clothes, but I can't see any. The train stops at the signal as usual. I can see Jess standing on the patio in front of the French doors. She's wearing a bright print dress. Her feet are bare. She's looking over her shoulder back into the house. She's probably talking to Jason, who'll be making breakfast. I keep my eyes fixed on the Jess, on her home, as the train starts to inch forward. I don't want to see the other houses. I particularly don't want to see the one further down, the one which used to be mine. I lived at number 23 Blenheim Road for 5 years, blissfully happy and utterly wretched. I can't look at it now. That was my first home, not my parents' place, not a flat show with other students. My first home. I can't bear to look at it. Well, I can, I do, I want to, and I don't want to. I try not to. Every day I tell myself not to look, and every day I look. I can't help myself, even though there is nothing I want to see there, even though anything I do see will hurt me, even though I remember so clearly how it felt that time I looked up and noticed that the cream linen blind in the upstairs bedroom was gone, replaced by something in soft baby pink, even though I still remember the pain I felt when I saw Anna watering the rose bushes near the fence, her t-shirt stretched tight over her bulging belly, and I bit my lip so hard it bled. I closed my eyes tightly, and I counted 10, 15, 20. There, it's gone now, nothing to see. We roll into Whitney Station and out again, the train starting to pick up pace as suburbia melts into grimy North London, terraced houses replaced by tagged bridges and empty buildings with broken windows. The closer we get to Euston, the more anxious I feel. Pressure builds. How will today be? There's a filthy, low-slung concrete building on the right-hand side of the track, about 500 meters before we get into Euston. On its side, someone has painted, "Life is not a paragraph." I think about a bundle of clothes on the side of the truck and I feel as though my throat is closing up. Life isn't a paragraph, and the death is no parenthesis. Evening. The train I take in the evening, the 1756, is slightly slower than the morning one. It takes 1 hour and 1 minute, a full 7 minutes longer than the morning train, despite not stopping at any extra stations. I don't mind because just as I'm not in a great hurry to get into London in the morning, I'm not in no hurry to get back to Ashbury in the evening either. Not just because it's Ashbury, although the place itself is bad enough, a 1960s new town spreading like a tumor over the heart of Buckinghamshire. No better or worse than a dozen of other towns like it, a centre filled with cafes and mobile phone shops and branches of JD Sports, surrounded by a brand of suburbia, and beyond that the realm of multiplex cinema and out-of-town Tesco. I live in a smartish, newish block situated at the point where the commercial heart of the place starts to bleed into residential outskirts. But it's not my home. My home is the Victorian semi on the tracks, the one I part-owned. In Ashbury, I am not a home owner, not even a tenant. I'm a lodger, occupant of a small second bedroom in Kathy's bland and offensive duplex, subject to her grace and favor. Kathy and I were friends at university, half friends really, we were never that close. She lived across the hall from me in my first year and we were doing the same course, so we were naturally allies in those first few daunting weeks before we met people with whom we had more in common. We didn't see much of each other after the first year and barely at all after college, except for the occasional wedding. But in my hour of need, she happened to have a spare room going, and it made sense. I was so sure that it would only be for a couple of months, 6 at the most, and I didn't know what else to do. I'd never lived by myself. I'd gone from parents to flatmates to Tom. I found the idea overwhelming, so I said yes. And that was nearly 2 years ago. It's not awful. Kathy's a nice person, in a forceful sort of way. She makes you notice her niceness. Her niceness is writ large. It is her defining quality, and she needs it acknowledged, often daily almost, which can be tiring. But it's not so bad. I can think of worse traits in a flatmate. No, it's not Kathy, it's not even Ashbury that bothers me most about my new situation. I still think of it as new, although it's been 2 years. It's the loss of control. In Kathy's flat, I always feel like a guest, at the very outer limit of their welcome. I feel it in the kitchen, where we jostle for space when cooking our evening meals. I feel it when I sit beside her on the sofa, the remote control firmly within her grasp. The only space which feels like mine is my tiny bedroom, into which a double bed and a desk have been crammed, with barely enough space to walk between them. It's comfortable enough, but it's not a place you want to be, so instead I linger in the living room or the kitchen table, ill at ease and powerless. I have lost control over everything, even the places in my head.